The go-to-market playbook for B2B companies has massively changed. So here's the question, is your lead generation process actually outdated? And if you don't have a steady, consistent flow of quality leads, is it stunting your growth? In this episode, I'm gonna walk you through the 3-step system that I follow for every single company that I operate, every single B2B founder that I coach on how to consistently generate leads for your SaaS business. And when you follow this 3-step system and implement it, you will be able to accelerate your path to that next stage of growth. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm TK, and on this channel, I help SaaS founders like you grow your businesses faster with an unstoppable strategy. Now, if you're new to this channel, welcome. I drop an episode every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics from the trenches on how to grow your SaaS business faster. So if you're new, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon, so you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode with the TK energy. Now, if you're already part of this community, if you're part of this channel, if you are part of my SaaS go-to-market coaching programs, if you're a customer of one of my SaaS products, people, welcome back. It's really awesome to see you over here. So one of the toughest things that I see founders deal with is understanding the different types of marketing that's out there. A couple of weeks ago, I was featured on a billboard in Times Square. Here's an actual picture of it. And at first I was like, oh, maybe this is AI generated. And then a friend actually sent me this picture where she was actually over there and she took this snapshot. So I was literally on a billboard in Times Square. But here's the thing, I didn't get any leads from that. I didn't get any actual revenue from that. But it was really cool and my friends loved it. And there was a lot of buzz online about the fact that I was on a billboard and they were running this campaign. This is what we call brand marketing. Brand marketing is when you get your face out there, when you get your logo out there. However, it only works when people already know your brand, when they already know your logo. So if only 5 people know about your company or 10 people know about your company, it'll only help those people. Otherwise, it'll just look like a random thing to them. However, there's lead generation marketing. Lead generation marketing puts a message out there and actually gets people to take action on that message so that they become a lead. And when they become a lead, you can actually nurture them, you can have a conversation with them, and then you can sell them on your product. That is actually lead generation marketing. And a lot of times when founders are starting to think about marketing, they conflate all of this. They'll hire an agency that actually says you have to redo your website or redo your logo and change the colors. That's all brand. Or they'll hire a fractional CMO who can't get a real CMO job, and they'll just say, pay me $5,000 a month and I'll figure it out for you. And they'll do a bunch of weird branding stuff. The thing that matters the most is actually lead generation. And so I take lead generation very seriously because in the early days of building a B2B company, when you're in the early stages and you're scaling, there's no brand. There's just your face. Maybe people know you, but no one knows what your company actually stands for. So all that matters is leads. Lead generation. And over the years, I've developed a 3-point system to actually consistently generate leads. So in this episode, I'm gonna walk you through the 3 steps that you can follow to actually implement this system. If you're excited to dig in, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's dig right into it. All right, step number 1 in this system is to actually target who you want to attract. You want to be very specific in targeting the people that you want to attract. It's a noisy world out there. So whatever you do to market your company and your product out there, it really needs to get super focused. Otherwise, people will just scroll right through on a social media feed or an ad or wherever it is that you're actually getting your message out there. The more specific you are in your targeting, the clearer everything else is going to be. And so what tends to happen is founders really want to go for world domination. So they'll try to go after the entire market. But the more specific you can get in the initial stages, called an initial customer profile, the more successful you're going to be. And as you hit new revenue stages, you can continue to expand that customer profile, that ideal customer profile, and start to target in a bigger way as you get more momentum. The first principle in all of this is to get very specific in who you want to target and attract. The more specific you are, the more successful your lead generation is going to be. And I'll show you in the next steps why this matters the most. One of the key ways to actually develop your targeting is to build an ideal customer profile. When you work with me on an ideal customer profile, it's a 29-point analysis on really figuring out what your ICP should be. And that's how you really get to the details. If you're just saying, oh, we're blank, blank, and blank, and it's just one one sentence, that's not really an ideal customer profile. It's kind of a feeling. It's kind of an idea. You really want to get specific on it. The more specific you are, the more effective you're going to be in generating leads. Once you have your targeting done, then comes the second step. The second step is to develop your differentiated message. Now, all of this is based on the fact that it's a noisy world out there. So the most effective marketers, the most effective founders that embrace go-to-market get super specific. The more specific you are, the more you can stand out. So even if you start to get super specific on an ICP, an ideal customer profile, obviously it's still a large enough audience. And that audience is likely being targeted by a whole bunch of other companies. Maybe it's your direct competitors. Maybe it's their default company that sells to them right now. Maybe it's the old way of doing things. All of these folks are inundating them with a message. And so in order to really stand out for that targeted audience, you need to develop your differentiated message. What is the unique transformation that you're bringing with your product? Why should they trust you? Why do they need to take action now? Why are you the best product for them? And also, why should they change the way they're doing things to your way of doing things to actually use your product? This all goes into a differentiated message, and you want to actually craft that. So that way, every single time you're marketing out there, your message shows up as differentiated. And when it shows up as differentiated and targeted, people are more likely to actually take action instead of just scrolling right past whatever it is that you're putting out there. If you've been watching this channel, the way I develop a differentiated message with founders and for any company that I work with is what I call a manifesto. A manifesto is usually 6 to 10 slides. Every manifesto is different because every company and every market and every dynamic is different, but it's a very structured way of actually crafting a narrative. Crafting a real narrative around why you need to do something right now, why your status quo is not good enough, and why you need to take action now. All of these pieces come together to actually craft a differentiated message. And that's what you need to actually stand out in the market today. Okay, so once you have these two things, you have your targeting. So you're not just posting to a huge audience and it's basically diluted so no one pays attention. Once you have the targeting with your ideal customer profile, and once you have your differentiated message with the manifesto, then comes the third part. That's when you put it into play to actually start generating leads. Before I go into this part, this is where it all comes together. There's a very specific way to do this. Let me just pause here for a second. Are you starting to see the power in this? Are you starting to see the power in actually doing these two things so you can stand out in the market and then start to generate quality leads? Are you starting to see the difference between colors and logos and a billboard, which are good things to do when you have a steady lead flow system, and actually doing the hard work of saying, what's my message and how do I get in front of the people that matter? This is the difference between just brand marketing and true lead generation marketing. This is what you need to actually drive revenue growth. And when you get to 10 million, 100 million, a billion in ARR, then you can invest in brand marketing. That's where all those pieces come together. Once you have the steady flow of leads, you can build on top of that with brand marketing. But in the early days, you just need to get your message to your ideal customers. That's what you need to do. If you start to see the power in this, if you're starting to see the power of doing these two steps and then building it into a lead generation system, if you're starting to see the power of how all these pieces come together to drive growth for your business, how leads are actually what drives revenue instead of just a bunch of likes. Can I just get a yes in the comments below? And also smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. And honestly, so do we. We put a lot of love into these videos. So if you're in the stage where you have some revenues and you're looking to accelerate your path to that next stage of growth, and you're looking to actually establish a proper lead generation system, you're looking to actually establish a scalable go-to-market strategy, this is what I do all day long with founders. So be sure to check out my SaaS go-to-market coaching program. You don't have to go anywhere right now. I'll link to it below. I'll also tell you more about it at the end of this episode. Let's go to step number 3, where all this stuff comes together. Step number 3 is consistency. You have to be consistent in getting your message out there. The best definition I have for marketing is more of my ideal customers know about me today than they did yesterday. If you are consistent in getting your message to your target audience every single day, that will compound into real leads and real revenues. And that's essentially what you're trying to do. And that's what you're going to do when you establish this system. Now, this comes together. This is where it gets a little nuanced. So you want to make sure you get this right. There are 3 key channels where you want to deploy your message. These are 3 best channels for B2B right now. The first one is organic social. This is LinkedIn, Facebook, X, you name it, where your ideal customers hang out. you want to be posting your differentiated message and calling out who your ideal customers are on a consistent basis. As you post consistently in social, you want to make sure you drive to a proper lead magnet. That's how you turn the attention into real leads. You also want to take the best pieces of content and turn them into ads. That way, in addition to you posting, you're taking the ones that converted to the leads most effectively, and you're basically paying those platforms to propagate that content for you so you get more leads. And the third thing you want to do is outbound. Once you know your messaging is working, you take the best pieces of content and you actually turn them into outbound emails that you send to your ideal customers, your original target. And so this way, what ends up happening is you start with the targeting, you actually build out your differentiated message, and then you start posting on organic social, which is basically free. You look at what drives leads, and then you turn those into paid ads, and then you look at what's working really well, and then go actually do outbound to those people. And that way, if you're doing it right, they'll see you on the social channels, and they'll see you on the inbox, and it creates a compounding effect for you. That's my 3-step system to consistently generating leads for your SaaS business. Let's recap. Number 1, you want to first understand the difference between brand marketing and lead generation marketing. Lead generation marketing drives towards leads. The first thing you want to do is get super targeted to attract your ideal customers. The way you do this is build out an ideal customer profile. The second thing you want to do is it's a noisy world out there. So you want to craft your differentiated message. I do this by creating a manifesto. You want to answer who's this for, how are you different, why they should take action. Now, there's a whole bunch of things you want to actually address in a differentiated message so you stand out from the competition. And once you have that, you want to then take that differentiated message, that manifesto, to that ideal customer profile on a consistent basis. The 3 key ways to do this is to post on organic social, drive to an actual lead magnet so they become leads, turn the best pieces of content to paid ads, and then as those things are starting to come together, you're starting to see the signal, you actually turn on outbound with the best pieces of content that is working. These 3 steps help you establish a proper lead generation system. These 3 steps helps ensure that you're generating leads instead of just doing brand marketing where you're just getting likes or eyeballs, and it may not even be for your ideal customers. These 3 steps helps you convert real leads that are coming to you to revenue. It's wholly different when you have an inbound lead versus you just cold email someone because they're coming to you. They've been already consuming your content. And so the trust is higher and they're more likely to buy. And that's why this whole piece comes together. And now you know the 3 steps that I use across every single company I coach, every single company I run to consistently generate leads. And what you may not know is TK, I really want to get my ideal customer profile right. There's so many different ways I can take this and I want to make sure I'm framing it in the right way. You may also be wondering, well, how do I craft a differentiated message? There's a lot of features in my product. How do I convert them to real benefits and really tell a real narrative on why we're different and why they need to take action now? You may also be wondering, how do I actually do posts on social that turn into leads? How do I set up the lead magnet? And how do I actually nurture those leads? And how do I make sure I run the sales process? This entire system is what I teach inside of my SaaS go-to-market coaching program. Inside of this program, I help you develop your ideal customer profile. Everyone thinks they have an ideal customer profile, but when they work with me, I have a 29-point report that we create on how to actually build out your ICP in the right way. 29 different attributes that go into an ICP, and that's what makes it really powerful. Once you have your ICP, you're targeted. That's when we craft your manifesto. The more specific your ICP is, the better your manifesto is going to be, the better the messaging is going to be. It's your messaging, it's your positioning, it's your narrative, and that's what I teach you how to craft. Once you have those 2 things, you essentially have your go-to-market strategy. Then comes the 3rd pillar. That's your Broadway show. Your Broadway show is a consistent set of sales and marketing activities that you run to bring that manifesto to your ideal customers on a consistent basis across organic social, paid ads, and outbound so that you can generate leads, you can build trust, and you can convert it to revenue, whether you're product-led or sales-led. It is an incredible program. I've been running it since 2020, and over 250 founders have gone through this go-to-market program. It is an incredible program. We've gotten incredible success stories. So if you want to work together, just go to tkcater.com/GTM. tkcater.com/GTM. You'll get all of the details. The better the fit, the better the results. So we want to make sure that we can actually help you. So all you have to do is fill out a little form and book a time with us. And on the call, we'll figure out where you are in the business, what you're struggling with, and what your goals are. And if it's a good fit, then we're off to the races right away. So just go to tkcater.com/GTM and we'll book a call and we'll get you onboarded right away. Founders that join the program, on average, are able to revamp their go-to-market strategy and launch their Broadway show within 3 weeks of joining. And as you go through it, I'll give you the training, I'll give you my coaching, we'll teach you all the systems to use so it's super easy to put it all into place. It is an incredible program, so just go to tkcater.com/GTM for all of the details. If you got value from this video, please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. And honestly, so do we. We put a lot of love into these videos. If you have a fellow founder, if you have a team member, if you're part of a WhatsApp group or Slack group of other founders that will get value from this video, please share this with them. We want to help as many founders as possible build incredible B2B SaaS companies. Also, I drop an episode every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics from the trenches on how to grow your SaaS business faster. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon, and you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode. And lastly, remember, everyone has a strategy for their life and their business. When you are with us, yours is going to be unstoppable. I'm TK. I'll see you in the next episode or inside the SaaS Go-to-Market Coaching Program. Take care, everybody.